I'm not talking to the walls, I'm talking to the people. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Thank you. Welcome to this kickoff, this launch for my brother, my good dear friend, Nick Lebron. I am Dean Jones. I am his treasurer, and I support him wholeheartedly. I thank each and every one of you for coming out today to support a new beginning. We're going to push. We're going to raise money. We're going to volunteer. We're going to roll up our sleeves, and we're going to fight to the end. All right? Yes. Okay. A good brother of ours who is deceased now, Fred Hammond, says power to people, and it's people with power. And each one of you guys are powerful people, and we need you to stand in the gaps, stand in the front line, and be a voice for our future. Thank you and welcome. Coming up next is none other than Brenda. Give her a hand clap.
Buenas tardes a todos, mi nombre es Brenda Mari y estoy aquí para dar la oración en español. Y como muchos que están aquí me conocen, saben que yo hago las cosas diferentes, yo quiero comenzar dándole al Padre, Madre de los cielos y la tierra, te damos las gracias por darnos la oportunidad de tener un extraordinario líder, por la disposición de servir a nuestra capital. Gracias por sus 30 años de servicio en la comunidad, sirviendo con amor, sirviendo con compromiso para la gente, con propósito y para el progreso. Esta vez, Padre, estamos aquí reunidos dándote las gracias por su disposición de correr para esta silla tan importante, la más importante de nuestra ciudad. Gracias, Padre, por su buen corazón y gracias a todos los que estamos aquí presentes por abrir nuestros corazones y ver en nuestro candidato la oportunidad de hacer esta jornada con amor, con paz, dedicación y compromiso por la gente, con propósito para el progreso de nuestra capital. Amen.
Thank you. And up next we have Brother Carl Hodrick. Clap it up for Brother Carl.
Thank you. Nick asked me to talk on behalf, and I know Nick. Nick was always, he achieved against the odds. Mm-hmm. When you look where Nick came from, Nick started at the bottom and he worked his way up at the top. All the odds say Nick should have been locked up in jail, but he didn't. He worked the streets and he works the suites. He understands that if you don't educate, they're going to incarcerate. He knows Hartford very well, both sides. You cannot work if you don't care about the people. And they care. He puts his heart in it. He understands the school system. He understands both sides. He understands that if you don't operate and you can motivate, but you don't cooperate, it's going to be difficult for you to operate. You got to know the difference between the floor and the ceiling. And if you don't understand that, then you're going to fall on your head. So Nick has always been, in terms of young people, he understood where the city is in terms of why crime is like it is. He understands that over here you got 20%. Over here in the middle you got 60%. On this side you got 20%. He understands that. I don't care what you do, there's going to be some young people going to do drive-bys and sell drugs. That's that 20% on this side. You got 60% that's in the middle. You got another 20% that's positive, go to school, but they're down. He understands that you have to pull that 60% on the positive side and get who you can on the negative. And if we do that, we can fight crime. We can save young people. He understands charter schools versus public schools. He understands you can't have one side of the school that you're educating that's going to Yale. You got the other side of the school that's not being educated, and those kids are going to jail. So he understands that. He understands that you need the resources in the city and you have to go to the state. He understands that we don't have a strong tax base, but yet we have suburban people coming in for jobs, and we're not educating our population to prepare the jobs for the future. Nick understands that very well, and that's why we said we can support Nick, because he achieved against the odds. He know how rough it was, and he stayed with the struggle. Thank you.
And at this moment, this very second, this very hour, we have none other than Mayor Kennedy, Nick Lebron.
Started from the bottom.
So I want to start by saying, wow, everybody's here. I love all of y'all. I love all of y'all. You know, let me start by saying that you could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me tonight. So I want to start off, I lost a dear friend last week by the name of State Representative Quentin Williams. He goes by the name of Q. And I think it's important for us to understand the importance of what that means. I cut my teeth as a lobbyist at the state capitol with Q. And he inspired me and so many of us with his bright smile and his commitment to the work of equity and making our state better. He was a champion for education. And I remember seeing him tirelessly fight 12-hour days, rallies on behalf of equity for our people in our communities, for our scholars and our family, for better educational access. His memory is a reminder of the importance in serving our communities and the urgency of the work to make our communities stronger. He will be dearly missed. And if you just join me for a brief moment of silence for Q in his memory. I love you, Q. You gotta clap it up. I want to thank Dr. Duncan Harris and the rest of the team at Capital Community College for having us here today. My experience here at Capital helped change the trajectory of my future. This place holds a special place in my heart. I remember being here at Capital, not knowing the direction, not knowing if education was going to be part of my future. But there were people here that provided seminal moments that helped change the course of my life, the course of my family's life as a result, and the course of my community. So thank you to Capital. And again, thank you all for being here. I can't start this meeting without acknowledging my bride, my beautiful partner, and my wife. You know, her birthday is Monday.
Happy birthday!
Everybody say happy birthday to Millie. So, you know, as I think about this upcoming birthday and where I'm going to take her, what fancy restaurant I'm going to take her, or maybe a purse, or I don't know, maybe I'm giving myself away. And I think about where we've come from, Dave, but where we've been, right? We're now going to your birthday thinking about Ruth Chris when we used to eat McDonald's. We used to be on the floor, on beds on the floor in Westbrook Village in the projects. And all we had was hope. And all we had was the city of Hartford to help us with that. I love you, babe. I want to thank my children for being here. I'm scanning the room. I see 2 out of 3. Where's my other one? Where's she at? Over there? All right. So my wife and I pride ourselves when people ask us, what is our biggest accomplishment? And our biggest accomplishment is raising our children. We took parenting seriously, and we put parenting first. My children have gone on and graduated high school and stayed in our community. We chose to educate them here. We chose to stay here, right? We chose to stay in the city that we love. We didn't seek other options outside. We stood here. They went on to explore the world and went on to colleges. And happily, I say, they've graduated, all 3 of them. And not just graduate, they've come back. They've come back to our community. How many times do we see leaders? They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk.
Come on now. Come on.
And if you ask my children themselves, they're my leaders, if you ask them. That's why I got the bald head and all that stuff. And to my mama. We started from the bottom, now we're here, right? You know, we talk about, you know, families and the importance. My mom was my first role model, a social worker who gave tirelessly in the community, helped change the system, helped hitting glass ceilings, and continue to persevere. Mom, I love you. I want to acknowledge my brother and sister, if they're here. Hey, Mika. My brother couldn't make it. You know, families at our core. We got Mika here, shameless plug, the best event planner. She's got a space, a minority woman business owner doing work right here in Hartford. So when I tell you about my family, I'm telling you about me. My story is no different from yours. Growing up and living in the city of Hartford, I've experienced the amazing opportunities the city had to offer, And I've also endured its deepest challenges. I survived the war on drugs, gang wars. I remember the gang wars so prominently. Folks know I'm a sports fan. I couldn't wear Patriots logos, right? You couldn't go down Park Street. I love the Celtics. We couldn't wear green and black. Those are the things that I had to survive. But along the way, I've made incredible friends in the classroom and playing sports across the city. But I've also lost friends and family on the streets to senseless violence. As a teenage father, I experienced the difficulty of being a parent at a young age, struggling to find resources. But I also found so much joy in raising my kids in the city and seeing them become college graduates. From a community organizer to an educational advocate, and now a leader at a social service agency, I've found success at every step of the way. Those tools for success were instilled in me by my city, who gave me and taught me so much. Many of you, as I look into the crowd, played a role in shaping who I am today. I see the leaders here and the work that you're doing in your local communities and the impact we're making every day. One of the things that I learned from all of you is the importance of family voice and community voice and actively listening in order to create change. Far too often, our city gets painted in a negative light. Coverage of gun violence, poverty, and disinvestment. But they don't see what I see.
Come on.
What so many of us here in the room see here today. A Hartford filled with hope and opportunity.
That's right.
As I was sitting with my sister on Sunday, my sister challenges me often, and that's what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And so she asked me, "Why are you running for mayor, Nick?" And I didn't want to tell her that. I didn't want to tell her then because I didn't want to spoil the speech. But Mika, I'm a Hartford success story.
That's right.
This city believed in me,
That's right.
Yes.
which is why I believe in it.
All right. All right.
It's time to start investing in Hartford's strongest asset.
Yes.
And that is you. That's why I'm running for the mayor of the city of Hartford. Because you are its strongest asset. And that's how we create a strong Hartford. A Hartford where kids get a quality education.
That's right.
A Hartford everyone can feel safe in.
Yes.
A Hartford that works for everyone in this city, no matter what neighborhood you come from. I want to take a moment to thank Mayor Bronin for making the tough and necessary fiscal choices to regain our city's stability. I worked side by side with Mayor Bronin as the chair of Health and Human Services Committee during the pandemic, and I'm thankful for his leadership. The tough decisions he made will make room for the necessary investment to move the people of this city forward. Luke's leadership made our city stronger. I am grateful for his service, and thank you, Mayor Bronin. It's time to start investing in Hartford's people. You'll hear it over and over again when we're on the campaign trail. Growing up in this city, I saw what happened to so many of my friends and neighbors when they didn't have the resources they needed, which is why every day I work so hard to provide people in need with the service they deserve. They so rightly deserve. I am committed to putting a stop to the cycle of perpetual poverty that has plagued our community for too long. That being said, investing in human capital and economic development are inextricably linked. I believe that investing in our people, our education, our health, our safety, job skills, all of that creates economic development that makes our city more inclusive and furthermore more competitive. Our neighborhoods cannot be overlooked anymore. We need to keep investing in our neighborhoods. Focus that are specific to those communities. We have areas in our neighborhood that struggle with substance abuse. We have other neighborhoods who have not been invested in for decades.
Yes.
For as long as I can remember, we need to start investing back.
Yes.
Our small businesses are the backbone of our city. The diversity and culture of our city's small businesses are part of what makes our city so special. We need to support our small businesses. If most of you know me, and I probably broke bread with many of you, you know how I love food. The representation of food in our community, from pizza to Thai to Jamaican to Puerto Rican, Peruvian, all over the city, is such a great reflection of what small businesses can provide to a vibrant community. Bodega owners struggling to try to just keep their lights on because of the targeted efforts against them. Myself, I was a small business owner. Only a few years ago, my wife and I, we had a cleaning business. We struggled to find access, help to support our businesses. We cannot allow that to continue to happen. And as I said before, my sister, a small business owner, I think about her all the time and how she needs access to services and how it took so long to get zoning. We have to make that change. And as most of you know, the children are the future of our success. I call them scholars. For those that work with me, you know I call them scholars, because words matter. Every scholar in Hartford deserves a quality education. And you shouldn't have to win the lottery to get a good education. My work has been at the intersection of behavioral health and education. I've provided after-school programming, access to weekend programming, access for families, food pantries, you name it, we do it. All continuing to fight and improve our neighborhood schools. Every resident in this city deserves to feel safe and enjoy a quality of life. I hear this story in Blue Hills Avenue of a grandma raising her grandkids, and one of them being a young boy and him being autistic. And she talked about how the young fellas in the front were playing music too loud. And she didn't know how to handle that. She didn't want them arrested. She wanted the noise down from their music in their cars because it upset her autistic grandson. Those are quality of life issues. As I look in the crowd, I think everyone here has told me about speeding and speed bumps and this vicious cycle of fast and furious culture on our streets. Those are quality of life issues that we need to attack. I want to strengthen Hartford's quality of life. Let us not forget, our city is currently facing a crisis. I, along with so many of you in the room, tragically lost a loved one to senseless gun violence. My cousin Kiki was murdered just when I was a month into city council office. I didn't even know how to set up my voicemail yet, and I lost my cousin. When I was 8 years old, my grandfather was murdered senselessly on Main Street. When you wake up the next day as an 8-year-old, your life changes. Trauma is real, and your perspective on the world changes. Hartford is going through significant trauma. It's time to stop the gun violence that is traumatizing our city. But I can't do this alone. I'm a lifelong coach. I love sports. And as I think about Hartford's playbook for success and how we're going to tackle our challenges, there's one thing for sure. We need a united front. I look at my brother who I played semi-pro football with, and I'll show you my finger here, it's bent. And I tried to tackle someone he was 275 pounds, 6'4", and I shouldn't try to tackle him by myself. And so I have a finger to remember that. But it reminds me that we need to keep a united front. We can't tackle our challenges alone.
That's right.
But when we come together, ain't nobody stopping us. So I'm here today to ask you all, are you ready to build a Hartford?
Yes.
Where you don't have to bus your kids out to the suburbs to get a quality education? Y'all ready for that? Are you ready to build a Hartford where you don't have to worry about something happening to your kids while they're playing in the playground? Are you ready to build a Hartford that will provide the necessary services so that every resident across the city gets a fair chance to be successful? Are you ready to build the Hartford that we deserve?
Yes.
And the Hartford we know it has the potential to be? I can't do it alone. I can't do it alone. I'm going to need your help.
You're not alone.
Let's go get it. Repeat after me. Repeat after me. People, purpose, progress. 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 I love you all.
All right, you have a seat now.
Good evening. Thank you so much for being here. It's so amazing to see all of your beautiful faces show up and show out for our friends. So many of you know Nick. You know that this sort of like it's not like it's not his thing, right? He's much more into having conversations with people, hearing what it is that you have to say, what your visions are for the future. And so we couldn't do this night with just him being on the mic speaking out to you. We wanted to make sure that we had time to hear from you. So we have a few minutes. I know it's the dinner hour, so I don't want to get in between you and dinner, but we would like to open up the mic for a couple people to come and share with us, share with Nick, your vision for the future of Hartford. So I'm going to give us like 15 seconds for maybe a few of you to line up here. Come up if you'd like to say something, share with the community, share with Nick what your visions are for the future, and then we'll wrap up in the evening. Don't be shy. Yeah. Come on up.
Here you go.
Come on up.
No way.
That's right.
All right, so you hold this. This is going to be your mic, okay? And you can talk right into it, okay? And then you can look at Nick and ask me your
My question is, do you think that we will have a brighter future forever for Hartford, and it will never last? And it will always last.
And it will always last, right? What's your name? Thank you, Christian Cigar. First of all, I want to acknowledge that you came up here and spoke in front of everybody. Number two, let's acknowledge the slick part that he has in his hair. I wish I could do that. But I believe so, Christian. I believe that there is the potential for change in our schools. I think that we have the opportunity to make it easier for you to excel. But we have to focus on the whole child. When you go to school, you also go home and you have things that are happening at home. And so if there are things that you're struggling at home with, or your family's struggling at home with, not saying that that's happening to you, but other scholars, right? We have to be able to address that. And you're in school more sometimes than you are at home and in the community. So that's the focus. But wonderful question. Thank you very much.
Diego.
My name is Diego. I'm blessed to be here. I'm blessed, to be alive. I know you. I know that you've been out here in the community, on the grind, on the dirt. I know. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing that I want to see different in Hartford is that I want to see our young people really have a voice, like a real voice in City Hall, because I believe that our politics is old, and I believe our young people need to update this.
It's a matter of transitioning. It's a matter of transitioning leadership. Oftentimes, when folks are in leadership for a long period of time, it's hard to let it go, right? But what we have to do is embrace young people, and we have to embrace their voice and let them know that their voice matters. In particular, I think about my work with a particular family and how we moved the needle this past term in City Council, and we got something done. Because one of the things that the young people were able to figure out much more quickly than everyone else was this Zoom thing. And so they came out 30, 40, and we were on Zoom forever, where I think it made enough noise and enough impact where we had to create change. And I think it starts there, but we have to listen.
Hello everyone, my name is Benny Foss. I'm a native of Hartford. Before this journey started, I knew Nick, and our main goal and concern was making sure the youth in Hartford had somewhere to go. So we were volunteer coaches, youth league, north into Hartford, and all we was concerned about was getting these kids off the street for 4 hours a day, making sure they was not in trouble. As long as they was on the field with us, they wasn't in trouble. Now, I heard you say, you know, one of the biggest goals or concerns or issue we have is busing our kids out of Hartford. A solution is the North End schools. We have none. So our parents, and we have nowhere to send them but South End or out of Hartford.
Yeah.
So if we can get our North End schools open so that our neighborhood parents can have their kids stay in the North End, it'll be a lot.
We talked about the northeast corner of our city. We have 3 schools that are currently closed down. And let me just say this, and I want to make it explicitly clear, that is done with intention. That was done because there was an underlying assumption that the community wouldn't come out. And those are the things that we have to change, Mr. Folsey. Coach Benny. Those are the things that we have to galvanize voices. And I don't want to, I think it's easy to say, we blame the community or they didn't come out and speak. What happens is, over a period of time, when you keep asking, right, you get tired and you become apathetic and then you stop asking. And so we need to refresh that voice with intention and actively listen, because they're there, we just have to listen.
I just wanted to come in. Well, first off, my name is Terrence Clemens. I'm one of the local muralists here in Hartford. I do a lot of the art for the city. I just want to say thank you so much on the job you've done for allowing me to shed light on things like that in our area, for the fact of me being able to be honored enough to be doing art for my city, where I've learned this craft at, and I've now retired into, this is my full-time job as an artist and a graphic designer. But it was thanks to Nick giving me one of my first gigs here to work on that. It's all due to trying to memorialize Kiki for a mural he asked me to do for him. With that being said, that gave me the heart to start my company, to start doing murals more for Hartford and things like that. So I just want to say thank you so much for giving those avenues.
That means a lot. You know, in people, purpose, progress, it's focus with investment in our people. That's a prime example. We have to continue to focus on our people. Same.
Hey, everybody. Thank you, Nick. Nick and I go back a ways. And thank you for running for mayor.
Yes.
I have been posting, real is rare, and you're a rare one, so I thank you.
That's right.
One of the things that, I was born in Hartford, grew up on the West Coast, and moved back to Hartford in 2010, but ever since I've been back, I have been community driven. I have worked in the hospital, I have worked in the school district, I have worked in the law enforcement area, now I'm working in crisis intervention and in museums. One of the things that I noticed when I first moved back to Hartford, again, and I think it's a common conversation that we're having, is that young people don't have anywhere safe to go. One of the things that I'd like to see, and this, I think big, and I'm a visionary. So my vision is for Hartford to have an ice skating, a roller skating rink in a neutral zone. We're on the first floor. It's a roller skating rink. That's going to draw all the kids in. Then we can have a police substation and crisis intervention offices on site on the lower level. But on that top level, all the way around, that you have service providers that have meeting spaces, and they can provide services to young people, that they can rent out space so that they can have forums and meetings for young people. That's what's going to draw young people in. They gotta feel like they can go somewhere safe first. Then we can pull them in and get them the services that they need, because they won't go get them. We gotta bring the services to them. So my hope is that you will consider something along that line, that we have that safe place for residents from the North End and the South End to come together collectively in a safe arena, but that they also can get services that they need.
I think that was a mic drop, right? You know, and why I say that is because we need to listen. I don't have all the answers. We collectively, I can't do this alone.
Right.
You know, so Sam, that is a wonderful idea, but we have to continue to listen to the folks that have the ideas. Often the decisions are made behind closed doors with a handful of people. I say let's change that. I say let's change that, Sam.
Wow. Hello, everyone. My name is Bernetta Henry. I'm a native of Hartford as well. I'm just so proud to see Nick up here. It's like, wow. I told him, that feel like my son right here. But, Nick, the question I'm going to pose to you, you know, the behavioral health and things such as that nature. My question is, there's so much young adult homelessness that are dealing with trauma, mental health issues that are falling through the cracks. How are we going to start dealing with those issues? Also the housing portion, because we know when it comes to neighborhoods like ours, the diversity, equity, and inclusion piece, it's out of there. We have to fight too hard for it. And that's why I'm proud that you are here. That campaign alone. People work with partners. I know you mean that from the bottom of your heart. I have to tell everyone to endorse you. I'm sorry. Because I know the man that you are, and I know how driven you are. So the question that I'm putting to you as far as seeking out help for our young adults that are dealing with trauma, not only that, the ones who have been incarcerated, give them something to come back to look forward to build this community. So I know that you are the person, as Sam was talking, I'm like, wow, you running for deputy mayor? So I thank you, Nick, I thank you.
So Bernetta, Bernetta was a mentor, is a mentor of mine, continues to be, and someone who taught me, I'm not going to say how long ago, but you know, taught me the importance of listening and listening to community voice. And Bernetta, I want to thank you for that because you helped shape me in that. When we talk about homelessness, I think the first thing I think of is the resolution that I created in May of 2020 during the pandemic that resulted in a differential response from the police. What I found was when I was doing my research that 60 to 65% of police of 911 calls don't require a police response. Right? Why is that important? Well, on the cusp, this was before George Floyd, sometimes, or 65% of the time, the police aren't the appropriate response, right? So what we did was create a heart team where we have a differential response. And so now, if you have homelessness and those type of issues, you can call 911 and you can get the appropriate response that you need. This does two things. Number one, it provides access, right, to services. And number two, it reduces the disproportionate minority contact and engagement with police, reduces incarceration, right? A lot of us grow up with trauma with the police, and so having someone show up at a uniform when you're just depressed can actually trigger you more. So those are the types of things that I created in response. I think also, so I also think on the macro level, we have very systematic issues. There's a web to get access to services. Let's think about that grandma I was talking about who had the autistic grandson in Blue Hills neighborhood. What she had for services is she had one-on-one services for her grandson. She had DCF involvement. She was in the school. She had case managers. She had WIC. She had food stamp appointments. She had all of these things that were designed to help us, but it created a web where her job was just going to social service agencies. We have the opportunity here in the city of Hartford to change that, to create access points. There should be no wrong door for services.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so hi, my name is Micaiah. I'm part of the Grow Hartford Youth Program, and I have a question about food.
Yes.
So not only do guns and pills and all these drugs kill us, but also food does. And everywhere around us, Burger King, McDonald's, bodegas selling unhealthy food. And I just want to know what you're going to do to implement healthy food in our community.
Wow. So that's a great question. I think we have food deserts in our community, right? And so the way that I've been tackling it and the way that I approach it is helping schools understand the importance of a diverse nutrition. We've been doing that in the schools that I oversee at Catholic Charities. We've provided families with access to what we call Milner Market food pantries. We also teach them about nutrition, also, as well as cultural relevancy, right? Like, so we have to make sure that the meat is halal, for our Muslim families. And we also are providing things that are culturally correct. I think the biggest thing right now that we're facing is, again, in the North End and the Northeast particularly, we don't have a grocery store.
That's right.
Right? So right now in my committee, there's a resolution that I'm moving forward, okay? And I need everyone's help here, because we could pass this now. We don't have to wait for our mayor now.
Right.
But we have this resolution where we're going to try to place a grocery store somewhere on Main Street in the North End. Families shouldn't have to go on 2-3 buses. They shouldn't have to go out of town. Just like we shouldn't have to look out of town for Hartford's next leader. This will be our last one.
Sure?
Yes, I don't know, maybe.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sammy Vega. I wear many hats, but I'm here today as I did get permission from my board of directors to come up. But I'm here also to, I'm not gonna say support, because I know Nick, he's like family. My mom used to babysit Nick. And Nick used to change my pampers when I was growing up. I see the mom here too. But I want to just keep up the great work. And this for everyone, whoever is running for mayor, the only question that I ask is that run for the people. It doesn't matter if you're Puerto Rican, black, white, run for the community. And I'm going to take, como somos presentados los puertorriqueños, I see the platform, I'm going to take the chance here. I want to thank the city council members, Nick Lebron, council member president, Amali, Jimmy Sanchez. I have my board of directors here. I want to advisory, Gladys Rivera. I have a special announcement. We hosting, thanks for them for supporting, and of course the mayor of Hartford. Hold on, what's his name?
Lebron.
I'm sorry. I'm here proud to announce that we are hosting the Puerto Rican Day Parade September 10th.
Yes, thank you. I think when I think about the Puerto Rican parade, I think about the traditions that exist in Hartford. I think about how relevant those things are to our community and what they mean as an example. We have the West Indian parade. We have the turkey game with Hartford High. We have the St. Patrick's Day parade. We have all these things that have become institutions and have become the fabric. I think about Winterfest. I think about the things that breakfast, lunch, and dinner on Thursdays. Like, those things have become a part of us, and we need to celebrate that, and we need to embrace that, and we need to do more. Because we can do more with more.
All right, as we come to a close.
Lord and only God, in your vast universe and complexities, we join in prayer in hearts, presenting Nick Lebron's candidacy as he begins a journey of mayorship. The path is not an easy path, yet the reward reaches families and homes of our dearly residents of the city of Hartford. Father, I pray that he is filled with strength throughout this process, and that he is able to live out Isaiah 40:31. He will run and not grow weary, walk and not faint. We pray for wisdom to overflow his thoughts, soul, and actions throughout every decision and action in this campaign. In declaration, integrity will be the foundation of this campaign, reaching the hearts of residents and all who come in contact with Nick. We are grateful for your guidance and opportunity to witness Nick's next steps in this journey, a journey of the people of Hartford, a journey of hope, a journey of dreams, a journey trusting you from the beginning and thereafter. I pray for his family, his wife, children, his mom, and many other family members as they too will walk this journey together. Strengthen them, watch over them, protect them, share your love and peace throughout this path. We, the people, come into agreement in God's mighty and loving name. We declare, proclaim, and pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, let me just take a selfie with everybody.